Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about graphing. I'm going to show us a technique using intercepts to graph, and also I'm going to continue with this slope-intercept form. So, graphing by intercepts, that means having 2 points on the axis. So you have one on the x and one on the y-axis. Now, I also call this, not only you will probably hear this as graphing by intercepts, I'll call this a cover-up method. The reason why I call this the cover-up method is what I'm going to do is this. Act like this y right here is not here, the minus y. It goes away. Just imagine if I erase it. What's left? X equals 4. That means I go all the way to x equals 4. There's my first point. I do the same thing now. I'm going to just go ahead and erase it. What happens when x is 0? Well, I'm going to erase it. So what is left is this negative y equals 4. I know to divide by negative 1. So y is negative 4. So graphing by intercepts, there you go. Let's take a look at the second one real quick. Do the same thing. Now this only works as when the x and y are on the same side, and there's a number on the opposite side of the equal sign, and both of your numbers that are attached to the x and the y has to go into the number. So in this case, let's take a look at the cover-up method. So act like this 3y is not here. Let's erase it. What's left? Negative x equals 3. Divide by negative 1. X equals negative 3. Now, I'm going to actually erase this one. So I'm going to cover up the x, or the negative x. I'm going to erase it. That's what the cover-up method means. So what is left is 3y equals 3. Divide by 3. Y equals, in this case, 1. So that kind of gives you a technique for the cover-up method. Now, my next examples, I'm going to use the understanding how to use my slope intercept. Well, the first one thing that we do try to use, if you try to use the cover-up method, especially on this one, take a look at this one. When x is 0, y is 0, and when y is 0, x is 0. So it hits right in the middle. And the reason why is because technically there's a plus 0 there. That's why it starts in the middle. This negative 4 means I'm going to go over 1, down 4 from the 0. Over 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what my first line looks like. Now, number 4, on the other hand, it's a different type of a problem, but let's just think about this for a second. Let's go ahead and switch it around. Negative 5y equals x. Now, what I want to do is divide by negative 5. Y equals negative. Now, treat that, there's a 1 in front of the x, so treat that as negative 1/5 x. Now, since there's nothing behind it, let's put a plus 0 there. That means I start at 0. This means I go, for my fraction, negative 1/5, I go over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down 1. I connect the dots. It's a little off, but just know that it does connect. But now I like when they give you a fraction, because I can just go ahead and say, okay, negative 4/3 means I'm going over 3, down 4 from this 2. That 2 means I go up 2 on the y-axis. Then I go over 3, 1, 2, 3, and down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then all I'm going to do now is to color that in. Some more problems. And at any point of this video, you can pause it and just wait till, give yourself enough time to solve it, and then check your answers from me. So looking at this right off the bat, I know I'm going to start at -3. But then what do I need to do? I need to look at what number's in front of the x. In this case, it's 2. I need to make it a fraction, put it over 1. That means I go over 1 and up 2. Over 1, up 2. This is my new equation, or my new line. I've got 2 more I'm going to do, and I'm going to conclude this part of the lesson. Same thing. Right here, look at the 1. 1, that means I go up 1. That's -3, I'm going to put it over 1. That means I'm going over 1 from the first one right here, and then I want to go down 3 from there. Now, one question I always get asked from doing this: does it matter if I go, in this case, over 1 and down 3, or down 3 and over 1? No, it doesn't really matter, because if you can see through this, that's still, if I go down 3 first, I go 1, 2, 3, and then over 1, it's the same points. So it doesn't matter which way you go. And finally, there's my 1, up 1. The 3/2 means I go over 2 and up 3. This is my over 2, up 3. So I hope this does help with graphing. It shows you some techniques. One is the cover-up method. Just remember, one thing with the cover-up method is to make sure x and y is on one side of the equal sign and the numbers on the other. And the numbers in front of the x and the y, the coefficients, you can divide them into the number on the right side. So thank you very much.